Hi, welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. One thing I got to grab this URL and paste it into a tweet, tweeting out the segments from the program and want to put them on our Focal Point Facebook site. And that tweet is off. And I'm now going to our Focal Point Facebook page, giving you the blow-by-blow, the play-by-play as we go through our broadcast day. It's now up on our Focal Point Facebook site. So don't forget, a lot of different ways you can access the content. We've got our own AFR Talk YouTube channel, so you can go to the AFR Talk, all one word, AFR Talk YouTube channel, get all of our video segments. They're posted almost instantly. We got all of the segments from today's program that are already up there, so there's a way you can access them. If you have to miss the program, you want to go back and catch a segment, go to the AFR Talk YouTube channel. You can get them there. You can get video segments at our website, afr.net. Also, don't forget, if you got friends or family members that don't live near one of the stations that are a part of our nationwide network, they can do audio and video streaming at afr.net, afr.net. Great way for them to keep up with the programming here, even if they don't have a radio station right in their own city. Now, I promised you that Ted Cruz clip. Set it up, and then I forgot to play it. So let's play that now, coming right out of the sheet. Clip number one, Rob. Again, remember when conservatives raise questions about President Obama's origins, whether he was a natural-born citizen, and that's the requirement. You've got to be a natural-born citizen. You have to be a citizen of the United States by the circumstances of your birth. Doesn't mean you have to be born in the United States of America. That's not what it means. It means natural-born. It means you are a citizen by birth. If your parents are citizens and you're born to a parent who is a citizen, you are a citizen. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. That's irrelevant. His mother was a United States citizen. He is a citizen. He is a natural-born citizen. Now, we don't know that about Barack Obama. So that was the question. We don't have we have questions about his birth certificate. I'm not saying that he wasn't born in the United States. I'm not saying he's not a natural-born citizen, but I will tell you one thing. I know for absolute sure that birth certificate that's posted on the White House website, something hinky about that, something bad wrong about that. I've had our own IT people walk me through that, and you can see the layers in that document, how it was laid down. You got different type fonts in different places in that document. So something bad wrong with the birth certificate that's posted on the White House website, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But the left just went apoplectic anytime anybody would raise a question about whether President Obama was a natural-born citizen. And then, of course, when John McCain ran for office, he was born in the Panama Canal Zone. So the left was all over that. He's not qualified. He wasn't even born in the United States. So they had no problem raising all kinds of questions about whether John McCain was eligible to run for the presidency. But they took offense if anybody raised the same exact questions about Barack Obama. Now, CNN is going full birther on Ted Cruz. And this is where I started out. You know the people that threaten the left because they are the ones that the left attacks. If the left isn't attacking anybody, then that individual doesn't represent any threat to their agenda. They are going after Ted Cruz, hammer and tongs. They're not going after Lamar Alexander. They're not going after Mitch McConnell, you will notice. But why? They're not going after John McCain. They're not going after Lindsey Graham. Why? Because these guys represent zero threat to the agenda of the left. They're just poodles. They're no threat. Ted Cruz, that guy is a threat. So now here's CNN, Wolf Blitzer talking with Athena Jones, and they're trying to go full birther on Ted Cruz, but you listen to this carefully and you realize, even they have to have enough honesty to realize, there's really not a problem here. Let's listen.
Taking the Senate by storm, stirring up controversy and ruffling feathers on both sides of the aisle in his first month on the job. For that, Ted Cruz is a Tea Party favorite, already generating lots of buzz about the 2016 race for the White House. However, the question isn't only will he run, but can he run under the U.S. Constitution? CNN's Athena Jones is joining us now. She's been looking into this. Athena, so what's going on with Senator Ted Cruz and his eligibility potential to become one day president of the United States?
Hi, Wolf. Well, the big question here is whether Ted Cruz is a natural-born citizen. I spoke with several constitutional law experts about this today, and all of them believe that Cruz is. But it's important to note the Constitution doesn't define who is a natural-born citizen, and those are the only people eligible to run for president. Also, I should add, the Supreme Court has never ruled on this issue.
This just cracks me up. I mean, this just cracks me up. They got a whole segment devoted to and that's the title. That's the title on the segment is Ted Cruz eligible to run for president. So they raise this issue. Then they bring this Athena Jones on, who's been looking into this. It just cracks me up. And she says, I spoke with several constitutional law experts about this today. All of them believe that Cruz is eligible to run. In other words, there's no story here. There's no point in even us taking up airspace to talk about this. But that shows you how desperate they are to knock Ted Cruz off the perch, that they're willing even to spend valuable broadcast time on what is an absolute non-story, just in the hope that it will plant some kind of doubt in the minds of their listeners. Now, while we're on that topic, let's play Chris Matthews, the number 2 clip. It's about Chris Matthews from The Daily Show. Then we'll go back to the phones, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840 is the number to call. Now, this is the guest host for Jon Stewart on The Daily Show. I don't remember his name. I didn't include it in my notes here. But we played the soundbite from Chris Matthews the other day where he says, look, I can guarantee you who's going to be president in 2016. It's going to be Rand Paul. And you got to listen to me because I do this for a living. I know what I'm talking about. So The Daily Show had some fun with Chris Matthews. They went back into the archives and found a couple of other predictions from Chris Matthews, who, of course, knows what he's doing because he does this for a living. Let's listen.
I predict the hard right is going to take over the Republican Party in 2016, and the nomination is going to Rand Paul. You watch. This is what I do for a living.
Ooh. Really? Because all this time I thought you were paid to spit on a camera lens. But, look, if making sound predictions is what Chris Matthews does for a living, then he may have a bit of a problem, because finding sound bites of people saying things that directly contradict the claim they've just made, that's what we do for a living. So, for instance, just off the top of my head, who did Chris Matthews see going all the way to the White House in 2008?
Let me ask you about Rudy Giuliani. I believe he's not only running, I think he's going to win this whole thing come around the next election.
That's right, yeah. You remember him, current President Rudy Giuliani. You remember him, the formidable contender in the 2008 election who won in the primaries only one more delegate than I did. But okay, look, let's be fair, that was a whole presidential election ago. Everyone is allowed a mulligan, and Matthews made up for that by completely nailing his prediction of who would win the Republican primaries in 2012.
You watch Bachman. She's got the action this time. She stands for something. She's going all the way. She's going to win this thing.
Really?
I'll tell you right now, I predict she beats Romney.
It's what he does for a living.
So he predicted Giuliani, mark my words, he's going to be the president. 2012, it's going to be Michelle Bachmann. Trust me, I do this for a living. Let's go to Michael in Warner Robins, Georgia. Michael, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. You're always talking about you like Rush Limbaugh, and he's at the top of your list. I wanted to tell you that I listen to Rush every now and then, and I think you're far better than him. So,
well, thank you very much. Now, Rush did make an observation that Debbie texted me. She caught a little bit of Rush today, and this is something I hadn't put together, so I'm going to give him props for this. He said, the reaction of the left to that rodeo clown wearing the Obama mask is just like the reaction of Muslims to the Muhammad cartoon. So it's an indication of just how the left has deified President Obama. Anyway, Michael, thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Well, I didn't hear your soundbite about the Common Core thing, but I did hear your commentary on it. And I think that comes back to the left and just people in general trying to get past or get out of religion and get into secular humanism and postmodernism. One of the reasons I liked math in school is because there is a right answer and there's a wrong answer.
Yeah.
2 oranges plus 2 oranges always equals 4 oranges. You can see that. You can hold that. There's just no doubt about it. And it's the same thing where they're trying to blur the line between reality and interpretation. It's all part of that postmodernism where they don't want to accept absolute truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what it comes down to, Michael. You're exactly right. Is there absolute truth? Is there absolute right and wrong? If there is, then Christianity is the place you go for that. The Bible is the place you go for that. That's where you discover these abiding principles, these moral claims, these truth claims. But if there isn't, then it's kind of open season, and any kind of swill and bilge and drivel can be taught and be presented as the truth. All right, Michael, listen, I appreciate that very much. Great call. Let's go to Larry in Shreveport, Louisiana. Larry, welcome to Focal
Brian,
Point.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hey, enjoy your program every day and get a lot of insight from it. What I wanted to cover was, first of all, that why that it seems like that the ones that are voting Democrat, and I can't break it down into racial, but 18 to 35, white and black, seem like that, it's just automatic. Who'd you vote for? I travel around quite a bit, and you ask these questions and everything. And every one of them seemed to go towards, well, I voted for Obama. Well, what reason? Well, he's giving me this or he's giving me that. And one of them showed me a form, the DHS, to fill out for food stamps and other different things. And then, first of all, I asked them if they can want to register to vote. And it seems like that you ought to get one of these and read it, and you'll say, wow, are they trying to shade the Democrats, it seems that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And what they're doing too, Larry, and I had a story on this. I had it in the stack for a while, and it's in there somewhere. I never had a chance to use it. But in Florida, there was a story about how they are actually paying people to recruit people for food stamps. I mean, they give you a bounty. Everybody you sign up to go on welfare, you get a bounty. So they're incentivizing this. They're encouraging people to go out. They're paying them good money, our taxpayer dollars, to convince people to sign up for food stamps. And that's why you've got this massive number of people on food stamps today. It's like double what it was under Bush, 47 million people now on food stamps in America. And you know what they've got on this Obamacare thing, Larry, these navigators, part of the question form to get people signed up for Obamacare includes a question about voter registration, just what you were talking about with food stamps. So these navigators are going to be paid by President Obama to sign people up to be registered voters for the Democratic Party. It's all a big, giant political scam. Focal Point in AFR Talk. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.